Happiness is not at the top of the mountain, but in how to climb. A man is great not because he hasn't failed. A man is great because failure hasn't stopped him. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. I was complaining that I had no shoes, till I met a man that had no feet. An inconvenience is an unrecognized opportunity. Don't curse the darkness, light a candle. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. Remember, even when alone, that the divine is everywhere. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man without trials. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. An orchid in a deep forest sends out its fragrance even if no one is around to appreciate it. Those that cannot forgive others break the bridge over which they themselves must pass. The archer who misses his mark does not blame the target. He stops, corrects himself, and shoots again. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. All the darkness in the world can't put out the light of 1 candle. Happiness does not consist in having what you want, but in wanting what you have. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. A workman who wants to do his work well must first prepare his tools. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. When I am with others, they are my teachers. I can select their good points and follow them, and select their bad points and avoid them. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Everyone eats and drinks, yet only a few appreciate the taste of food. The gentleman calls attention to the good points in others. He does not call attention to their defects. The small man does just the reverse of this. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. You judge yourself by what you think you can achieve. Others judge you by what you have achieved. When you see a good man, try to emulate his example, and when you see a bad man, search yourself for his faults. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Expect much from yourself and little from others, and you will avoid incurring resentments. Being strong does not mean that you never fall down, but that whenever you fall, you get up again. The superior man loves his soul, the inferior man his property. Every truth has 4 corners. As a teacher, I give you 1 corner, and it is up to you to find the other 3. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. A man who stands on a hill with his mouth open will wait a long time for a roast duck to drop in. When a person should be spoken with and you don't speak with them, you lose them. When a person shouldn't be spoken with and you speak with them, you waste your breath. The wise do not lose people, nor do they waste their breath. Those who do not study are only cattle dressed up in men's clothes. Don't let your past determine your destiny. Transport a handful of earth every day, and you will make a mountain. The master was entirely free from 4 things: prejudice, foregone conclusions, obstinacy, and egoism. Do not answer the person whose questions are vile. Do not question a person whose answers are vile. A bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses. If you are generous, you will gain everything. A man who has committed a mistake and does not correct it is committing another mistake. If your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. It is better to play than to do nothing. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. Exemplary persons are steadfast in the face of adversity, while petty persons are engulfed by it. The tongue must be heavy indeed, because so few can hold it. To know your faults and be able to change is the greatest virtue. A gentleman can see a question from all sides, without bias. The small man is biased and can see a question only from one side. Don't be concerned that you have no position. Be concerned how you may fit yourself to occupy one. A fool despises good counsel, but a wise man takes it to heart. There are 3 things to beware of through life. When a man is young, let him beware of his appetites. When he is middle-aged, of his passions. When he is old, of covetousness especially. Great is the man who can overcome the world, but greater still is the man who can overcome himself. The gods cannot help those who do not seize opportunities. If you don't know how to live, why wonder about death? A wise man seeks by music to strengthen his soul. The thoughtless one uses it to stifle his fears. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. Don't worry if people don't recognize your merits. Worry that you may not recognize theirs. There is one word which may serve as a rule of practice for all one's life: reciprocity. Be loyal and trustworthy. Do not befriend anyone who is lower than yourself in this regard. The most beautiful sight in the world is a little child going confidently down the road of life after you have shown him the way. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words nor laws. You must find time for reading or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. The heart of a wise man should resemble a mirror which reflects every object without being sullied by any. There are 3 friendships which are advantageous and 3 which are injurious: friendship with the upright, friendship with the sincere, and friendship with the man of much observation. These are advantageous. Friendship with the man of specious airs, friendship with the insinuatingly soft, and friendship with the glib-tongued. These are injurious. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Base yourself in loyalty and trust. Don't be companion with those who are not your moral equal. When you make a mistake, don't hesitate to correct it. The superior man is intelligently, not blindly, faithful. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world, and the world at large. If you would one day renovate yourself, do so from day to day. The perfecting of oneself is the fundamental base of all progress and all moral development. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. The father who does not teach his son his duties is equally guilty with the son who neglects them. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. The one who was born a genius can't win against the one who tries, and the one who tries can't win against the one who enjoys. Without that innate sense of human worth, a man cannot long endure adversity, nor can he long enjoy prosperity. The higher type of man clings to virtue, the lower type of man clings to material comfort. The higher type of man cherishes justice, the lower type of man cherishes the hope of favors to be received. A hammer shatters glass, but also forges steel. When you see a worthy person, endeavor to emulate him. When you see an unworthy person, then examine your inner self. To be truly happy and contented, you must let go of what it means to be happy and content. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Character is the backbone of our human culture. Music is the flowering of character. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. The superior man, when resting in safety, does not forget that danger may come. In the old days, men studied for the sake of self-improvement. Nowadays, men study in order to impress other people. These are the 4 abuses: desire to succeed in order to make oneself famous, taking credit for the labors of others, refusal to correct one's errors despite advice, refusal to change one's ideas despite warnings. To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. The gentleman has 9 cares, In seeing, he is careful to see clearly. In hearing, he is careful to hear distinctly. In his looks, he is careful to be kind. In his manner, to be respectful. In his words, to be sincere. In his work, to be diligent. When in doubt, he is careful to ask for information.